Greg, great to have you. One of the higher price targets now on the street. I'm wondering, though, if cloud really can live up to its expectations.
Thanks, Taylor, very much for having me. We think it can. And what we're seeing and hearing is that Microsoft's cloud momentum is really just going extremely strong. You know, there's been some concern from a macro standpoint, some uncertainty with respect to IT spending. We're not hearing that about that as it relates to Microsoft. They're extremely well positioned. They are clearly taking share in Azure. The Jedi contract that they won late last year, we think is going to be a facilitator for broader, more strategic deals, both with the government as well as other large enterprises that they don't have today. And at this point, we're really not seeing any demand signals that would indicate any sort of softening. So we feel pretty good about that.
Greg, does Jedi contract go through even with the lawsuit coming from Amazon?
Certainly that adds some friction, but ultimately we don't expect any alteration in the outcome of this. We believe that Microsoft will continue to have that contract. We think they will have it officially awarded and be able to move forward with it. Timing is a little difficult to say, just because obviously you have to go through the process. But again, we're not expecting any change to the outcome.
Greg, I want to take a look at a chart here that I'm showing inside my terminal. I'm using a little bit of a basic forward PE business, which shows sort of the rate of change going along with the stock. You get that nice curvature there going up to about 20.5 times. Your smart analysis, you're looking at EV to free cash flow, also multiple 29 times currently for 2020 estimates. What really gets you to that valuation?
Sure. So that is what our valuation implies. What I would point out, though, is we actually look at our primary valuation being a function of two things. One is we do a DCF on the Azure business, and we have an estimate of roughly $70 for Azure alone. Now, if you look at Azure relative to the piece of the pie that is, or as a piece of the pie that is Microsoft's entire business, Azure today, by our estimates, is about 13% of revenue. However, it is remarkably strategic, as we've been talking about. It is going to get much bigger. In fact, we estimate it's going to be 20% of their revenue in June of 2021. That's only 6 quarters away. So again, there's a lot more value that's going to be accruing to Microsoft. In addition, we do a sum of the parts for the entire business, and by doing so, we get to about $180, hence our price target. Now, if you look at Microsoft over the next year or two, that 29 times multiple, Taylor, is what it equates to. It is certainly higher than what we've seen in the past, but the difference as it relates to Microsoft is how much better they are strategically positioned vis-a-vis where things were 3 to 5 years ago.
Greg, we have about a minute left. I wanted to make a pivot to some of the cybersecurity stocks you cover: NortonLifeLock, Checkpoint, Proofpoint, Fortinet, FireEye, CrowdStrike. You know, the list goes on. How do you see some of the recent cyber threats via maybe Iran or the Saudi Arabia hack of Jeff Bezos' phone change your story as it relates to cybersecurity stocks?
Sure. So I would say at this point, any change is speculative in nature, and I say that because we have yet to hear of any escalation in cyber attacks from nation states or otherwise in the immediate aftermath of this. However, I will tell you that we've spoken with some industry folks, and what they've indicated is that very recently CISOs, CISO, or Chief Information Security Officers, they are getting more attention, more airplay, if you will, from their C-level executives, their board members, as it relates to security. Now, it's too early to say how all of this will play out, but we do think that this could be a potential catalyst for some incremental security spend.